Hi, everybody. I am so excited to be here and have this amazing guest with me. My name is Jerry Ann, for those of you that don't know me yet. Um, I'm so excited to be here, and I decided I wanted to get out there and start bringing more information to you. So I'm going to start bringing in different experts in different fields a couple times a week. And today is the lovely Miss Mandy White Eskelin. She is an amazing lady. I met her, gosh, almost 4.5 years ago when my health was at its worst and I needed help, and she's who I found to help me. And you know what they say, what with the quote about the average of you're the average of the five people that you surround yourself with. Well, she is one of my five. So I do consider her one of my ride or dies. She is a WBFF fitness pro, number 3 in the world. She is a mom, a wife, a gut health expert, integrative nutrition specialist. She's just an all around amazing person that has a heart bigger than her body because she's about this big. And I wanted to bring her on because she is brilliant when it comes to gut health, gut brain axis, female hormones, and perimenopause and all that stuff. So, welcome, Miss Mandy. I'm so glad that you're here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It's been a long time since we've done one of these. So I'm so honored to be here. And hello, Facebook world. Drop where you are watching this from so we can come back and say hi. I want to know who's watching from what part of the world because I know Miss Jerry Ann has friends all over the world. And Miss Jerry Ann is absolutely the one with the big heart. So I'm so proud of her. Honestly, she came to me with severe digestive issues, like severe, and her cholesterol was elevated and she had some good weight to lose. And let me just say that this woman has lost over 70 pounds. She was able to lower her cortisol by almost 60 points in 90 days. And she has impacted so many hundreds, if not thousands by now, lives like around the world. She truly cares about people. And I love being partnered. It's not just about the friendship, it's also about the partnership because we get to help each other. And that is what is really important. And so I'll just tell a quick background about my story. She said all kinds of really cool things. But really the truth is I lost about 30 pounds after I had both of my kids via C-section. Now my son's turning 17 next week, but I can't believe that I lost almost 30 pounds.
I
And
love being partnered. Not, it's not just
there we go. But I lost almost 30 pounds in order to go on and do my very first fitness competition. And so what I did was I didn't do it in a very healthy way. I did it actually in a very unhealthy way. And when I started competing, that just compounded. And I started having severe digestive issues, metabolic issues, hormonal imbalances. Matter of fact, I didn't even have a period for a year. And that's really not good because I threw all of my hormones off as well. And so I even had depression. And this was all about 13 years ago. And doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. So that's when I decided to go to nutrition school, to be my own health advocate, and to be my own health advocate and just really be able to heal my body. And then that's where I found my passion of helping other people. So that's my background and my story, Miss Jerry Ann.
that's, you know what, and that's amazing because even though my health was at its worst, I mean, I was on what 12 medical aids, 70 pounds overweight. I mean, I had the gamut. I had no clue at that point what inflammation even was.
Yeah.
We talked about, I think the first thing that you had me do was get my hormones checked and get a food sensitivity test, which I did. Um, I had a complete hysterectomy at 37. So you hear all these poor ladies that are going hot flashes and I've got this and I've got that. And I'm like, I had a patch put on that quick. So I never went through that even now until when I thought was depression was actually my hormones because I had like ignored all of it, not knowing. I was like, you don't know what you don't know, and then you do know what you do know once you figure it out. But if I knew then what I know now, so kind of explain that difference, what people are going through, like if they've had a hysterectomy, whether it's a complete or partial. Mine was complete, um, versus going through the normal stages of that.
Well, because I have not had hysterectomy, I can't really speak on to someone that has had it, right? I know that I would just say, look, get on hormone replacement therapy if you've had that. Like you have to. You can't just think, oh, I don't need to do anything about my hormones because I had a hysterectomy, which is absolutely the a false statement. You really want to make sure your hormones are checked. And a lot of times for people like myself and probably a lot of people watching that have not had a hysterectomy, they're going through all of these changes. And what's crazy is perimenopause can start at like age 35, usually by the time you're at least 40, but as early as 35. And perimenopause can last 2 to 10 years. 2 to 10 years before you
Oh.
even go into actual menopause. And that's the miserable part. Believe it or not, it's not necessarily when you hit the menopause, it's that time leading up to it where most people are and they don't even realize it. Number one thing is your gut, because you know also how unhealthy your gut was and how that threw the rest of your health off, right?
Mhm.
But our gut is our second brain, and our gut actually regulates 70% of our hormone function. 70%. Our gut also regulates 70% of our immune system. Our gut also produces 90% of our serotonin, which is our happy hormones, happy, what makes us feel happy. It produces over 50% of our dopamine, which is what makes us feel motivated, want to get off the couch, go to the gym, whatever that is. And then it also produces about 50% of our GABA, which is what makes us feel relaxed, helps us feel less anxious. So
Right.
when I'm talking about all that, I'm talking about how when our gut is not functioning, literally the rest of our entire life is off. I know that might sound crazy. And so many people live with that inflammatory state, like you were, Jerry Ann, when we met 4.5 years ago. That was your norm. You didn't even
Mhm.
know that there was anything outside of that. You just thought, okay,
Right.
this is the way it is. This is how I have to deal with it, or I have to go to the doctor and get more medications, right? But because that was your norm, that was throwing everything else in your entire life off. And so that's one of the things I'm a very big advocate for is get your hormones checked. Find out what's going. There are certain days that you should get your blood panel, your hormone panel done. So make sure to check with your doctor certain days in your cycle. But also that food sensitivity test, because when we can take a snapshot of what is your body reacting to, then we can take those foods out. We can let that inflammation come down in your body, and now your mood is going to be better. Your anxiety is going to go away, right? Your metabolism is going to speed up. Your immune system is going to be naturally boosted on its own, because that is us being able to regulate that on our own. And then your hormone function is going to start to regulate. But one
Yeah,
of the big
that's
things
that,
with you was cortisol, right? Your cortisol.
yes. I was a little stressed out of my gourd.
Yeah, right. And most people don't realize how much that affects them. I mean, you had a lot of life changes going on. And I think there's probably a lot of listeners too that have some of these crazy times and changes going on in their life. And people don't realize how important cortisol is. Now, let me just ask you before I go into some of the things about cortisol. How do you feel now that you've got your hormones regulated, your cortisol levels are regulated, and you don't have any more inflammation in your gut?
You know, night and day. It's the difference is crazy. It really is. And the longer it goes on, the better I feel. And I'll never forget because I've had severe IBS my entire adult life, and they haven't known that it was IBS all this time. So they were throwing things at me, seeing what was going to stick. So when I found out it was your gut health, I'm like, huh, really? Because I was also on, to say it right, depression and anxiety
Mhm.
meds.
Sure.
Um, and I wanted to get off of them. And every time I would try to get off, I was a puddle of mess.
Mhm.
And you said one day, and I will never forget it, you said the symptoms of your hormones being off mimics the symptoms of anxiety and depression. And it was like a brick hit me in the side of the head. I did get on bioidenticals. My life has, as far as me mentally, physically, that has just blended out. I am off of the anxiety and depression, and I'm able to function without being a wreck. And I mean, the stress resilience that we talk about,
Mhm.
unbelievable the difference that is. And people go, why aren't you freaking out? I'm like, it's not important. It's, I take what I need, I
Mhm.
let go of the rest, and I just go. And having that balance, the night and day, night and day.
I love that. I love that for you. And I love the fact that we were able to do all of that, right? Heal your gut, get your body producing the serotonin and dopamine. So your doctor was able to take you off of the medications. You were able to come off of it, right? And how you feel now and that stress resilience, like you said, that we talk about, because cortisol, listen, like cortisol is so crucial. And I know right now it's a big buzzword, but let's really talk about what cortisol is. Cortisol is our fat producing and fat storing hormone. Fat producing and fat storing hormone. And so when you're stressed, your body is internally like, oh, yeah, let me produce some more fat and store it right
Oh
now.
boy, it
And
was too.
it was, I mean, but again, we've all been there. But what also cortisol, it's released through our gut, and cortisol also regulates our estrogen through our gut. So there's so many ways. And then when cortisol is high, you're also going to be more inflamed all over your body.
Mhm.
Crazy. You'll have more inflammation everywhere. So when we can, get those cortisol levels regulated, let me give you some symptoms and you count how many you had, not now, but how many you had. So we're talking brain fog,
Mhm.
puffy face,
Mhm.
weight around the belly,
Mhm.
waking up in the middle of the night, anxious feelings or panic attacks,
Yep.
right? I'm trying to think, moodiness.
Yep.
Let's see what else. Cravings.
Mhm.
I mean, like those are the main ones.
Yes.
And if I think of another one, but you had all seven of them, but you didn't even know at that time
I had no idea.
that it was your cortisol.
Yeah. It was crazy. It's like, and when I found out about the inflammation and the cortisol and all that, and you look down that list, I'm like, I checked every single one of those. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
It's
it was
okay.
nuts, but it is okay. And there's so many people out there that just they have no clue what it is, just like I had no idea. And when
Yeah.
I saw the information, I was like, when you talked to me, it was like a light bulb went off. It's like, how have I gone my entire life and not known this information? So that's why I've dug in so deep the last 4 years just to learn as much as I can and be the biggest sponge I can. And if I could help one person not go through what I have for 60 years, I mean, I'm 65 now. At 60 is when I took my health and life back into my own hands with your help. Thank you. And what a difference. Just, I mean, the first year was a huge difference. The second year was a huge difference. Now we're at year 4 and it's just
Getting
unbelievable.
better, right? And
Mhm.
that's the thing is your norm was that constant inflamed stress out of your mind, depression feelings, right? Like you were all of that was your normal on a daily basis. And so there's a lot of people out there that that's their norm and they don't even know a world without all of that. And so I love that we can come on here and talk. So if you're watching on Facebook, drop the word cortisol. If you had any of those like seven main symptoms that I was just talking about, there's a lot more, but those are like the main symptoms. Drop the word cortisol. Like we all have stress and it's
Right.
okay. But the thing is that shouldn't be your norm. That shouldn't be the way that you choose to live and function every day because you don't have to. There are ways to fix that. And so that's one of the things that I love, Jerianne, that you and I are partnered on with this is not only being able to help people heal their gut and have less inflammation, but be able to lower that cortisol in their body, lower that stress level in their body so that their body literally goes, ah, okay, I'm not stressed anymore. I can handle what's going on. Just like you said, I can handle, I got it. And then when your body is like that, it's going to let go of fat. This isn't about a diet. This isn't about
Mhm.
anything else. This is about that your body is no longer stressed. So your body's not holding on to that fat anymore. And now
Right.
your body's going to let it go. And you've lost with the combination of the right kind of nutrition, knowing how to break the cycle of dieting
Mhm.
and how to regulate your cortisol and your HRT, you were able to lose 70 pounds with
Yes.
eating more. Will you please just talk about eating more? Uh, let's
Oh. I lived my entire life not eating. I put myself in an eating disorder because I felt better if I didn't eat than when I did eat, because if I did eat, my stomach reacted. So I retaught myself how to eat, when to eat, the balance of the protein, fats, and good carbs. And I lost weight. If it didn't happen to me, I would have never believed it. But it happened to me when my body relaxed, the inflammation started to go down, and I ate the right amount of foods. I ate more than I've ever eaten in my entire life, and the weight came off. It pretty much melted. That first year, the weight just melted off. It was crazy.
By eating more, by
Eating more.
balance your plate with protein, lean protein, healthy fats, and
Hmm.
carbs. And carbs, we're talking fruits and vegetables. And
Hmm.
knowing, okay, these foods I'm sensitive to, let me not eat those, right? These are causing inflammation in my body. Let me not eat those. Like that's like drinking poison. I mean, we wouldn't do that. But
Right.
what you knew, and then we could learn how to balance your plate. I remember you're like, this is so much food, I can't eat it. I'm like, Jerry Ann, just keep eating, girl. Just keep eating. Just keep eating. Just keep eating. I feel like I see that all the time because people don't understand that when you start to feed your body and your metabolism's like, oh man, it's 3.5, 4 hours. She's feeding me again. I gotta hurry up and burn this off. Okay,
Yeah.
phew. And then you eat again in 3 to 4 hours. Oh man, she just ate again. I gotta hurry up and burn this off. What happens is you're increasing your metabolism. You're feeding your muscles, which is what we want to do, is keep the muscle because muscle burns fat. Let me muscle burns fat. Okay. So let me make sure
Okay.
they heard that. Muscle burns fat, not running on the treadmill, not cardio for an hour. That is going to do the complete opposite. By the way, just FYI, doing that steady state cardio for that long or anything like that is going to actually increase your cortisol levels and have
Hmm.
the opposite effect. Plus, it's going to eat away muscle. So we want to keep muscle to burn fat, to eat more, to feed your body, to get that metabolism up, and then get that excuse me, get that cortisol level down and allow your body to go, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be doing. So, I'm excited. So, tell me a little bit more about what you're excited about. We have a few more minutes before we have a very big, exciting celebration.
So, yes. Thank you so much for all that information. It truly has been mind-blowing, life-altering craziness. And now we are on the next step of our life-altering transition. And we have the most amazing collaboration that hits live in 10 minutes.
10 minutes, less than
And
10
then
minutes.
again
Not even.
in 2 hours. So we have the most amazing collaboration in this industry. Usually in the last couple of years, and Miss Mandy, you can speak on this too. A lot of the companies have flipped their business model
Mhm.
and putting their products out to the retail market, and we're doing the complete opposite. We are going into retail, pulling a number one bestseller out of retail where we can offer it to our public at a discounted rate, better than you can get at, can I say it?
No, just luxury retail stores.
Luxury retail stores.
Yes. It's so true. That is so true. And you hit the nail on the head. Listen, the economy right now, people need an extra source of income. I mean, we have for the last few years, to be real, but I love that we get paid by helping others feel better. Like to me, that's everything. Just we get paid helping others feel better. Let me ask whoever's watching, do you know 5 friends that have stress? And if you don't have 5 friends that have stress, then I need to come give you a hug somewhere, okay? But everybody's got stress. If you've got a pulse, you've got stress,
Got
right?
stress.
Stress.
Yeah.
Imagine this. Financial stress causes our cortisol levels to be off. So when we can help
Absolutely.
people in this industry earn an extra $500 by sharing with 5 friends, 5 friends $500 a month, 5 friends, $500 a month. You can make more if you want, but even that, because when I got started in this industry, I don't know if you know this, Jiriam, when I got started in this industry with my husband about 7.5 years ago, all I wanted to do was make an extra $500 a month. That's it. I'm like, look, just $500. That's it. And I fell in love with the industry. I fell in love more so with helping people. And
Mm-hmm.
um, yes, it is true that like the last couple of years, there's been network marketing companies that have literally rip the rug underneath the people that built them.
Yeah.
That first of all, that just make infuriates me because it's
Yeah.
really unfair, you know,
Yes.
and Now I just heard this week that one is going full retail. When one company is going full retail, another one's going to affiliate, which is basically they lose their whole team. What our company is doing, because our owner that owns Amari also owns the Rootist, which if you look up the Rootist, they are a fermented hair care luxury line. I've got all the products right here because I did a little education thing today. But our owner owns the Rootist. And if you look it up, they've already won 18 awards and it's a multi-million dollar company. He's taking it off of retail shelves and giving it to us to sell to people and earn income off of. And they get to pay less here with us than they do on those retail shelves. Is that not
That's
mind blowing?
amazing.
So our
I love
company
it.
is the complete opposite of what other companies are doing. That's why we don't have to beg or drag anybody or convince anybody to come do business with us. When they see this, when they see this comp plan, and now the fact that today we just launched the collaboration with the Rootist. I mean, you can go and it's all about fermentation because, by the way, our scalp and our hair has a microbiome just like our gut does. So we have to take care of this one too. And so when you see all these all natural products that help with the scalp and hair microbiome, and then you've got the ones that you put in your body to help with your gut microbiome, you've got, your microbiome's taken care of. And I think that's just brilliant. So I know we get to go to that celebration call where we're launching it publicly. We were able to say the name this morning, but we've been knowing for a while that we were going to do this collaboration. But today's the official day that we get to share that this is the Rootist. So listen, if you're into hair care, if you want to try, wow, I need to really think about the pH and the balancing of my scalp microbiome too. Drop the word root underneath here. If you want some help with your gut, drop the word gut. If you want help with your cortisol or stress, drop stress or cortisol. But Miss Jerian and I will follow up with you. I'm happy to answer any questions and support you. And honestly, I just love educating people because I think that so many people just need this education. And if you're open to looking at what we do here as a business, we actually have a call tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific time. 7 o'clock Mountain, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, that we're going to be going over the whole project, not just the Rootist. We're going to be talking specifically about the social need right now. And that's what we have is we have something that people need
Huge.
when it comes to
Absolutely.
products. Um, and then we talk about how you can earn an extra $500 a month. And then you can decide for yourself. And in there, we'll be talking a little bit more about the collaboration with the Rootist. But listen, drop any of those words below, like this, heart this. Miss Jerry-Ann will go follow up with you. I'm happy to have a conversation too. We're one team, one family. And so thanks, Miss Jerry-Ann, if you want to close this out.
Thank you so much, Miss Mandy. Such amazing information. And please, you guys, drop info below if you want anything anymore. We have data for days. Miss Mandy is a walking encyclopedia. She is that big sponge that I'm going to turn into when I grow up one day. But thank you so much, Miss Mandy, for your time. I appreciate you so much. Everybody, drop replay if you're watching the replay. I can't wait to talk to you again. And like I said, I'll be coming on once or twice a week with a specialist of one sort or another. So, Miss Mandy, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it so much.
Okay. Have a good one. Bye bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.